we're here at St. Mary's College reporting on the newest technology trends and how they're affecting the students' abilities to learn. Hundreds of case studies have been done to determine if the implementation of various educational technologies, such as computer-assisted instruction, software, design, and programming technologies in grade school level children are actually beneficial or detrimental to their education. I've talked to a few professors and other faculty here on campus to hear their opinion on the matter, so let's go see what they have to say. What are your general thoughts on the technology boom and the uses of internet and smartphones and iPads just in general?
Just from my 8 years of experience here doing this, I'd say most of our issues concern going to unauthorized sites on the internet. Since we've instigated Turnitin.com, we're seeing less of it, but it's still happening, and we have students that use their phones during tests and they get reported.
So do you think technology plays more of a positive or a negative role when dealing with ethics and students in the classroom?
Well, I think the potential for it to have a positive effect is huge.
We wrote a paper on the online homework because we started using that about 4 or 5 years ago, and we really wanted to see if the students did better or worse using the online homework. And the name of the program was different than the one we use now because it's a long story, but it was called Applia. And what we found, believe it or not, is that students in general didn't do any better in the course whether they used online homework or paper homework, except the paper homework was a lot more cumbersome and difficult to work with. And we also found in the paper, or in our research, that good students did better.
Has technology improved the effectiveness, or do you think it could improve the effectiveness in your classroom if you implemented more?
Well, I think it would be really good because a couple of things I'm really bad at is that I really don't like taking roll, and I don't really, students, when you sort of ask them a rhetorical question, they don't answer it. And I think this new technology that Mary Coe has said she'd share with me, and I don't know when we'll get to it, is where you can just sort of, right in the middle of a lecture, you could give the students a quick quiz on what you've covered, rather than saying, does anybody have any questions, which of course nobody asks, when they could actually do it, and then I could see, well, did they learn it or did they not learn it?
My job is to coordinate internships, so I constantly check the job boards for internships that are appropriate for business students. I also have a great resource in that our board of directors for SEBA are some really influential business people, and they bring internships to me that might not even be on Gale Link. And alums also contact me often. So what I do is I post the internship as a post on Facebook and say, hey, paid internship at Pixar in marketing, and give them all the information. And it seems like a really good way to reach students, obviously, because it goes right to their phone instead of having to log into Gale Link. It's just more, I can give it a little more of a spin than the posting. So I have over 100 students, freshmen, and I teach them to create a LinkedIn account and a, let's see, what do we do? A correct Gmail account, so it doesn't say SexyChick99. And then we created resumes and all kinds of things like that. One of the things I do with them, though, in the classroom, if we're doing a PowerPoint presentation, is I use an iPad to remotely control my laptop so I can walk around through the classroom, and it turns it into a whiteboard with a software program called Doceri that involves a stylus, and so I can write all over what I'm doing. I can point to it. I can record myself while I'm talking and give the students the notes, for example, so they can relax and hear what I'm saying as opposed to be furiously typing. Another thing I've had a lot of success with is audience response. And in the old days, they're now old, using a clicker was something that a lot of professors did, but what I've done is create a wireless one called Poll Everywhere, and it uses their smartphone, which they all have in their pocket. So the students kind of like it because then I say, they're used to hearing, put your phone away, and they all have a phone, so there's no cost. All I do is have an account, and so I can toggle between my presentation and audience response questions that I prepared ahead of time. They can be multiple choice or open-ended, or I can just type it in right then if it's something that's topical, and then they can, it's kind of like voting with your phone.
Could you see yourself using more resources in the future and becoming more educated on them?
Absolutely. You know, I am doing that, and I mean, I sort of resisted a lot. My first would be using the online homework, and when I saw how easy it was to do and tried it once, you know, I do like it. But there is one thing that it's not exactly part of your interview, but I think technology is going to be a big force in higher education. I mean, I think what we've talked about here is sort of micro issues, class issues, but this whole thing that I've sort of been interested in, just not because I want to do it, because I think it's really happening, is like what's happening at Harvard and some of the great universities where they're putting classes online. And that could change the whole face of higher education because, number one, it's so much cheaper. I mean, you don't have to worry about parking, you don't have to worry about buildings. And I'm not saying I foresee this, but I foresee moving towards online courses, hybrid courses, and then eventually, I mean, and this is way in advance, but where, like a school like Harvard, I mean, if a student wanted to take Economics 3 from Greg Mankiw at Harvard, who's one of the most, you know, brilliant economics professors, there's no reason that they couldn't do that and have that course count for that course in some kind of a maybe virtual kind of college.
The consensus is in. While there may be some drawbacks to technology, it seems as though there's even hope for the cell phone to be used in a beneficial way for the classroom. Teachers here at St. Mary's are finding ways through the use of different technology to get students to become more active and vocal in the classroom. So my vote is yes for more technology.